Hey everyone, welcome back to That's Debatable Daily, the show in which we debate every single day. My name is Leavezo, and today Mickey, one of my greatest friends, is here with me. Mickey, we're going to talk superpowers today. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm so
Have you ever done this sort of thing where like deciding between two superpowers?
I feel like that's a common question.
Today our superpowers are between having the Force, like in Star Wars, or hearing a mile away, but there are caveats. You can hear a mile away, but you have to be holding up a sign that says, I love smelling stinky feet the whole time. Or you have the Force, but everything is 3 times as heavy as it would be otherwise when you're using it. So everything you try to lift with the Force is 3 times as heavy.
But like if I'm lifting something without the Force, it'll just be normal.
I think so, yeah. It's only when you're using the Force. It's only about
I feel like the Force.
Really?
I can't think of like as many reasons.
Hearing something a mile away?
Yeah.
But you could hear anything. You just have to get within a mile of like a, I don't know, military operation. You could hear everything. You could get within a mile of like a world leader planning a nuclear strike and hear it all and then report back. You know what I mean? Like there are some implications for that could be used.
For sure. I'm not sure I see myself in those situations.
Sure.
Really.
I'm just saying like with great power comes great responsibility. So the power comes first and then you're like, what do I have to use this for to save the planet? You know what I mean? Though like we're kidding ourselves if the government doesn't already have technology that can do that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So the Force. Let's talk the Force because obviously it's the Force. Everybody wants the Force.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there to really say?
Well, everything is heavier, so like...
Would it just be harder to use the Force then?
Yeah. Everything's harder to use to lift stuff or whatever, but it's also kind of difficult. In Star Wars, we don't really have any gauge to know like how strong you are in the Force. It's not a hard magic system. George Lucas kind of just wrote it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, oh, Yoda's the most powerful, so he can lift this whole pillar, but also this X-Wing, but it's really hard for him, even though the pillar wasn't. And Luke can lift these rocks, but then later he has trouble with this. And so the consistency's not really there with the Force. So I'd be worried that if I chose that one, I just lifting even a piece of paper, I'd be like, oh, I can't even lift this at all, even though it's only as heavy as 3 pieces of paper because the Force is so inconsistent.
Yeah.
But it also means I could work up to it, right? I could work on that
and
skill.
Train and build that strength.
Can you train the Force?
So, but what would you use?
You can train the Force.
Yeah. What would you use the Force for, like in your everyday life?
Everything. Literally, I would use it every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes to just move stuff around, to get stuff, pick up my backpack and bring it over to me, pick up my drink and bring it over to me, pick up my friend.
My friend.
I would just do stuff all the time. Also, I'm convinced that people who are sufficiently powerful in the Force can fly. And for me, if flight is on the table, it's 1,000,000% what I choose.
Yeah.
It's like very rare that I don't choose flight. So I think that any of these people that say you can't pick yourself up with the Force just aren't strong enough Force users because the way that it works in universe is like it shouldn't matter at all. Why on earth would it matter if your feet are on the ground or if you lift or whatever? So I think I'm going with the Force, and then I just have to work until I can lift 600 pounds and I can fly.
Yeah. I'm not like so sure like how much I would use it on an everyday basis, but if I was in like a crisis situation, I feel like the Force would be so useful.
Mickey is falling
depending on
Mickey is falling victim to something that happens a lot where people are like, oh yeah, this superpower, I don't know how much I would use it. You would use it every day. Well, if you had a real life legitimate superpower, an actual superpower where you could telekinesis things, you would use it all the time. Unless you were hiding it for like reasons that you don't want people to find out. But like in your own, like you would just fiddle with stuff in the air. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, that's so true.
All the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would constantly, I'm a very kinetic-based person anyway. I love messing with stuff anyway, so I'd always be doing stuff like that.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then in the situations that it would save your life, like using a Force push, for example, to stop a fight or a car accident or something like that, I think it's way more useful.
Yeah. And I feel like it always works no matter the weight in those crisis situations based off the movies.
Based off the movies, you're right. Like if it solves the plot, it works. That's how George Lucas. All right, we figured it out. The Force has nothing to do with midichlorians. That was just some bad retconning. It also has nothing to do with the magical whatever it was before, and it's everything to do with how useful it is to the plot. I think you figured out the Force. Yes. So I can say the Force would be extremely useful to me all the time to further my personal plot. So I think I'm choosing Force.
Okay, I'm choosing Force as well.
I'm choosing Force. Let me do another think about that. You know what? If you guys can think of something for the hearing thing that would like change the like, oh, because usually I choose the one that's funner. But when
Yeah.
somebody introduces an object that's like I could save more lives or I could help more people, I have to choose that one out of like a sense of duty to what having the superpower would be.
Yeah.
Because I believe in responsibility and accountability when you have powers like that. So let us know what you guys think at home. We want to hear your take on this. It was pretty cut and dry for us, but if you have another thing to add here to throw into this conversation, please do. Tomorrow, join us for one of my favorite of these of all time. This Would You Rather is between sweating maple syrup and not being able to tell the difference between muffins and babies. We'll see you then.